Many glaciers flow into the waters of Prince William Sound. I talked with glacial geologist Kristine Crossen about the special characteristics of these tidewater glaciers. How are tidewater glaciers different than other glaciers in the Chugach National Forest?
Most of the glaciers in the Chugach National Forest are glaciers that end on land, and they're terrestrial based, and because of that, the only way that they have to lose mass or to lose ice is by melting. Tidewater glaciers are different. They end in water, and in many cases they end in deep water, so the loss of ice is, for the most part, by calving. The icebergs break off, the glacier comes down into the water is generally deep, the ice tries to become afloat, and in doing so it calves off large icebergs.
Are the tidewater glaciers retreating or advancing?
For the most part, glaciers, including tidewater glaciers in Alaska, are retreating. There are a couple of tidewater glaciers that are advancing, and the one that is best known in Prince William Sound is Harriman Glacier.
What do people need to know about the icebergs that calve off?
Well, icebergs can do several things that are problematic. First of all, you only see a small percentage of the icebergs. Probably about 10% of the ice in an iceberg is above the water line, about 90% is below the water line. So they're very dangerous to come upon them if you would run into them, for example, or if they would run into you. The other thing is that they're very unstable, and what might look like something spectacularly beautiful above the water line might be something that's very unstable in terms of the equilibrium, and these things roll, they can break apart, they can actually split apart, and so if you were in a small boat adjacent to this could be very dangerous. What you commonly see when you come to a tidewater glacier is that there is a serac or a spire of ice sticking up, and that falls over, and that's very spectacular. It can make a big splash coming out of the water. But in reality, in many tidewater glaciers, a small percentage of the ice is above the water, maybe 100 or 200 feet, and depending on the depth of water, you can have 600 to 1,000 feet of ice below the water. So in reality, as that ice is trying to become buoyant, shooters or very large icebergs can break off from the bottom of the glacier and come to the surface. So they can be very large, and also you have no idea that they're going to be coming to the surface. And of course, if you were in the vicinity, that could be dangerous as well. Most people suggest that remain about 1/2 mile away from the front of a tidewater glacier. It can calve at any time, and certainly the instability and the possibility for the calving and for the breaking apart of the icebergs could certainly be very dangerous.